Now it is time to introduce our main speaker for tonight, Charlie.
My name's Charlie. I'm an alcoholic, and I want to thank Laura for asking me to come share tonight. And thank you, Ninan, for your share. I want to welcome all the newcomers and out-of-towners, and happy birthday to the birthday people. I feel like I just did a big speedball. I'm like tired and my heart's going. So, here we are. This is what my day was like today. I worked my ass off for like 5 whole hours. I went home and took a nap. And I was sleeping on my bed, and my girlfriend came over and started sticking her foot in my butt and taking pictures. That's sobriety. Lewis, good to see you, dude. You look fun. You like hell's bells with that bell there. It's fucking awesome. I used to come to this meeting a lot. Actually, Rodeo, when it was on Rodeo, was one of the first meetings I came to. Oh, cool, thank you. I walked into that meeting and I wasn't, like, I loved what you said about, you know, like, people are, like, happy. I didn't like happy people. Everybody's too happy. And, I don't know how I ended up there, but I came to Rodeo, and when I walked up, there was this hot chick at the door, and she said, "Welcome, my name's Stevie." And I thought she was hitting on me. I was like, "Hi, Stevie." And I sat down, and I was like, I felt really weird, man. I was all, you know, I was wasted. I had hair down to my ass, and I told some guy sitting next to me, I go, "Hey man, you see that chick there? I think she digs me, man." He goes, "No, dude, she's a greeter." I was like, "You mean she works here? Like, how do I get that gig? You know? She just get paid to stand there, you know?" But, and I haven't seen her around. God bless her. I hope she's okay. So, I've been sober for 16 years, and really not by my choice. I didn't think I was going to hang out here for 16 years. I didn't want to hang out here for 16 years. I wanted to get 90 days and go back out. Something stuck with me. Somebody said, "Give it 90 days, and if you don't like what you get, we'll refund your misery back to you." And I was like, "Cool, I'll give it 90 days. And when my 90 days came up, I was like, "What now? You know, what do I do now?" And they said, "Do 90 more days." And I was like, "Fuck, I don't want to do 90 more days, man." You know? I said, when can I stop coming to these meetings? I said, "You can stop coming when you want to come. When you want to come, you don't have to come anymore." I was like, what the fuck is that kind of shit, man? You know? What is that all about, you know? So I was in and out for 4 years. I'd get, you know, 60 days, 90 days, whatever, man. I just, getting sober is a bad idea. I didn't come here to get sober. I thought Alcoholics Anonymous was a place where we were going to pass around a brown bag with some vodka and talk about our problems. And like, you know, come back tomorrow, dude, we'll drink some more, you know, and just a safe place to drink. That's what I really thought it was. I could not drink safely at all. I could not drink safely. I'd wake up. Have you ever done this where you wake up and you see your feet and they're on the ground and you're standing up and there's a guy in front of you going like this? I've seen that. It's not a good place to be. I heard somebody say one time, we wake up with the roof of your mouth sunburned. That's awesome, with your head in the gutter. Anyways, so for me, what happened to me? My father drank a lot. He was Spanish descent, born in Mexico. My mother she drank a lot. She was French, born in Paris. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like Ricky Ricardo meets, I don't know, Zsa Zsa Gabor. It was really strange in my house. I got two sisters, totally normies. And what happened is my parents got divorced when I was really young. And my mother met this rich guy, and he adopted my sisters, and they moved to Europe, and they sent me to live with my dad in Texas. And I didn't see him again for, this was when I was like 7. I saw him again when I was 18. Broke my heart, man. No bullshit. Killed me. My dad was like, you know what, men don't cry, get over it. Buck up, kid, Have a beer. And that's what I did. I had a few beers. I started smoking pot in 4th grade. I used to walk by the junior high school and to get to the elementary school. And they'd always be like, all those kids, the junior high school kids would be smoking dope, and they'd be like, see me walking by, and they'd be like, kid, come here, man. And they'd blow power hits in my face and laugh and watch me go to elementary school, And I'd get really stoned. They'd go, don't tell anybody. And I'd be like, okay, as long as I can get more tomorrow, I'm not telling anybody, That was my little thing. So I started getting high in 4th grade, and I think it was like when I was around, like in 6th grade, I heard Black Sabbath for the first time. Changed my life. It was over. It was like, it was over in a sense, but it was beginning in a whole nother realm. And I was like, man, I want to do that. Like, I want that guy's job. I want to do that when I grow up. I want to just like be evil and get high as shit, get laid all the time, and play music, That was my goal. And just be filthy rich. That's what I really, that's what I wanted. And I set out to do that. I started playing music, and I dropped out of high school, and when I was in 11th grade to go on tour, I went on tour with this band, and I never made it home. Like, I was supposed to go out for like a 3-month tour, and it lasted like 20 years. It was insanity. It was total insanity. It was kind of like, I don't know, when I drink and use, when I'm high, circumstances take over my life. So if somebody goes, dude, get in the car, we're gonna get high. I get in the car and I end up living in another city. That's what happens to me. I have no control over my own destiny, and I just don't care. I don't give a shit. I'm just like, cool, man, take me along, just take care of me, It's like I knew doing the music thing, it was kind of weird because it was like I found my family with the bros, right? I had this band of like bros, and we just rape and pillage and just get fucked up and have a great time. But it was like, it was my family. It was like what I was always looking for, And And it was awesome. You know, it was really awesome. And, you know, it was just like all I had to do was just play. All I had to do was like function really for an hour. And then they'd pour me in the bus and take me to the next town. That's all I had. I only had to be responsible for an hour. You know, showtime, that was it. Just do the show, dude. Just please, just do the show, man. We'll get to the next town. It was just a daily thing, you know. And we had some success, and you know, it just went on for a long time. It went on for fucking years. It was like Groundhog's Day. Nothing ever changed. It was the same shit every day. You know, and I started, you know, I did a lot of drugs, but the alcohol thing really kicked my ass. I didn't know that, you know, I didn't know I had an allergy of the body that when I drank, I didn't know it was the first drink that got me drunk. I just didn't know that, you know, and I knew something was wrong with me, but I wasn't sure what it was, you know. Like I was, you know, it's like I'd open my eyes every day and the first thought was, fuck. Oh, shit. I mean, every day, man, every day is just fuck. I did not want to wake up, man. I did not want to be alive. You know, and as a kid, I always thought, you know, I always had these, like, fantasies that I was going to be dead by the time I was 28, like the rest of them, you know, and have a pile of records behind, you know, leave that behind me and, you know, whatever. Just check out early, you know, and it didn't happen for me that way, you know. So, you know, my band went down. It just went down, and I decided to move to LA from Texas. I came out here from Texas, and you know, I knew I was going to come out here and kick ass and take names. Like, I'm going to LA. Screw you guys. I'm going to go to LA and kick some ass. And I came out here and I got my ass kicked, man. I got it handed to me, and it was so weird. Like in Texas, you can function and get by with being a drunken loser. People love you. In LA, it doesn't work very good. People don't put up with it here, man. They just don't. You know, and when I got here, there was just so many people. There was so much talent and so many people. Like I was like, fuck, I should have stayed in Texas, man. What am I doing here, you know? And I actually had to get a job, which was really brutal. I had never had a job, man. I had to get a job, you know. And I had to get a job at Guitar Center, which was really bad. Fuck, man. Talk about crush your ego. And I just remember they were telling me, like, hey, kid, sweep the rock walk. And I was like, fuck you, man. You sweep the rock walk, man. I'm going to have my handprints on there in the next week, you know. That didn't work out either, but. So anyways, I got a job at Guitar Center. I got fired for drinking on the job, and which is pretty funny because everybody drinks on the job there, you know, everybody's wasted. So they fired me for drinking on the job, and I was living with this chick, and shit didn't work out, and she kicked me out, and then I was living in my car in the parking lot of Guitar Center. That was my best thinking. And I was hoping like some producer would like find me there, you know. I just was practicing all day, you know, drinking beers and shit. And it's really weird because I couldn't kill myself. I didn't have the balls to kill myself. And I couldn't drink myself to death either, you know. I tried to do that. That wasn't working. And through like all these like coincidental experiences, I kept meeting all these people that were sober. Like they just like AA people were just coming out of the woodwork, you know, just, dude, you should go to a meeting, you know, and like, oh man. And it was just really weird. I started coming to meetings, and I fucking hated it. I'd sit back there, it's so weird. I just had this like deja vu where I would sit there and look at the speaker, and there'd be some dude sitting there with a hot chick that drove a really nice truck, and I'd be like, look at that asshole. He's not even an alcoholic. He's got like 20, he hadn't had a drink in 20 years. And now I'm like that dude. It's so weird, you know? So I can't, you know, the deal is I didn't want to be sober. I didn't want to be sober. I thought like abstinence from drinking is like, that's a little extreme. I don't want to do that. I just can't do it, you know? And so for 4 years, in and out, in and out, in and out, I was pretty much convinced that there's no other place to go, man. There's no place to go. And I don't know what happened, but I had relapsed. I was like 9 months sober or something. I relapsed, and I did a little bump. And I was doing a recording session. I did a little bump. And I told my sponsor about it. I said, dude, I was really tired. I did a little bump. I just thought you might want to know. And he was like, dude, that's a relapse. And I was like, no, it's not, dude. I was tired. I go, and I hadn't done any of that stuff in a long time, you know? I was like, it's not a relapse. He goes, that's a relapse. I was like, oh yeah, fuck you, I'm gonna kill myself, you know? And I was just like, ah! It's just insanity, the stuff we do, you know? And it's just insane, man, fuck. And so I was on a run, man. I was really out to finish myself off, and this guy, I lived right across the street from a meeting, and this guy that saw me at the meetings knew I lived across the street, and he knew I had put aluminum foil all over the windows for a reason, and he used to jog by every frickin' morning and go, Charlie, I'm saving you a seat. Hey, dude, keep coming back, you know? Give it up, dude. You know, all this stuff. I was like, oh, man, fuck. I'd just be like peeking out the windows and shit. And some friends of mine came over, and they actually like, they were like, what, dude, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm practicing, you know? I'm playing my guitar. I had fret dust on my blue jeans. I just play the same lick over and over, like 18 hours. And it's so fucked up. And they go, dude, come here, come in the bathroom. And I was like, what? And they go, come here, man, come in the bathroom. And they go, look at yourself. And I was like, what? And they go, you're dying. You're dying. And I was like, whoa, like I saw it. Like I really saw it. And they convinced me to go to this rehab. So I was like, okay, I'll go to rehab. And they said, cool, we're gonna pick you up in the morning. And they, like back in those days, like you couldn't just go to rehab. Like you had to show up every day for like a week. They'd kind of like test you to see if you were willing, and they'd be like, be here at 6:15 in the morning. You know, and then you know, if you didn't show up, if you were half an hour late or something, they'd just be like, beat it, dude. There's somebody else wants your bed, you know, or whatever. But so I showed up for like 3 or 4 days in a row, and I was like, I felt good, like I'm going to rehab, I'm going to rehab. So I'd go there in the morning, they'd go, come back tomorrow. And I'd be like, cool, and I'd just party down, you know, just tear it up that night, whatever. And I decided to call my sponsor, who I hadn't talked to in like, you know, 6 months or something. And I called him up and I was like, hey, Marv, it's Charlie. And he was like, oh, yeah. I was like, hey, dude, I was just thinking about you. I thought I'd call and check up on you. He was like, yeah, huh? And I said, he was like, how you doing? I go, I'm going to rehab. He goes, when are you doing that? And I go, I'm going tomorrow. And he goes, what are you doing tonight? And I was like, oh, shit. I go, well, I'm on a party tonight. I'm going to rehab tomorrow. And he told me to go fuck myself. He goes, you know what, dude? If you're not willing to go to a meeting tonight, rehab's not gonna do you any good. And he goes, you're full of shit. Go fuck yourself and stop calling me. You're wasting my time. And he hung up on me. And I was blown away. And I was pissed off. I was so pissed off that I started beating myself up. Like physically punching myself in the face, and like I just threw this like I just had a fit, you know? And it was so weird. Like in that fit, like I had a moment of clarity, man. I just like was like, fuck, man, I'm beating myself up trying to hurt somebody else. This is like what I do, you know? Like all the resentments and stuff that I've had, this is what I've been doing my whole life. I'm pissed at somebody or something, and I take it out on myself, you know? And I called a buddy of mine, and I was like, man, please come get me and take me to a meeting, you know? And him and then a couple other guys came over, and they took me to a meeting, and I had no idea that that was gonna be my first meeting of, 16 years I was gonna stay sober. I had no clue. I just went to that meeting. I was like, please come get me, man. Just take me to a freaking meeting. I can't do this, man. And I gotta tell you, my first year of sobriety sucked. It was horrible. Freaking horrible. My life got worse, you know. It really it got really gnarly that first year, man. And I think that, for me, the reason I stay is because I don't want to get sober again. I don't want to go through that shit, man. I don't want to learn those lessons again. Screw that, man. I'll stick around, man, and I'll let my ass fall off. My ass has fallen off a bunch of times in 16 years. Trust me, man. I take my will back, and then God throws it down, man, and just backhands me, and I give it up, I surrender, and then I take it back, and it's just been this ongoing, like, really cool experience, man. My 16 years is insane, man. My life is unbelievable today. It really is, man. It's unbelievable. I'm a completely different person than when I came in here. I get to live the life that I get to like co-create, It's like the things that I've always wanted, I get to do, I hang out in the jungles of Mexico like 2 months a year and surf. Every fucking year. I've been doing it for like 10 years. And I just have this amazing life today, It's like, I never had a job before, so I didn't know how to like fill out a job application. It's like, what have you been doing the last 10 years? Whatever, raping and pillaging city to city, whatever. And I mean, what do you do if you don't know how to fill out a job application? You start your own business. That's it. That's what we do. Start your own frickin' company, I have a company today. It's so weird. I'm licensed by the state of California, which blows my mind. That's a totally weird thing. I have general liability insurance and this and that and all this stuff that like overwhelms me today. It's like I have a lot of responsibility, and I get really overwhelmed easily because I don't know how to do that stuff, man. And my business is creating art. I didn't even know I was an artist till I was like 8 years sober. And that's just because of you people like showing me who I am. Like, I don't know who the hell I am. I don't know what's good for me or bad for me. I don't know shit about me. But if I see it in like newcomers and I see them get well, I see myself get well. And it's just such a trippy program. I had this sponsor named Marv, and some of you know him. And he died when I was 10 years sober, and he sponsored me for all that time I was in and out. And man, I miss that dude, man. I really do. And he was such a hard ass on me, man. He was kind of a grumpy little bastard, you know? And I used to be afraid of him, and I just remember, like, he'd tell me, call me at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'd call him, and he'd say, make your bed and call me back. And he'd hang up. And I'd be like, what the fuck is that, man? You know? And I'd make the bed, he'd go, take a shower and call me back. What the fuck is that, man? What do you mean? And I'd go, dude, why do I have to make the bed? He'd be like, so you don't get back in it. I'd be like, wow. And then I'd be like, dude, I want a drink, you know? And he'd just like, what's going on? And I'd go, I'm bored. He'd go, you're boring. And he'd hang up. I'd go, fuck. I'd be like, dude, I'm depressed. He'd go, you're depressing, you know? And I remember, man, I specifically remember like that. I was so pissed off and like unhappy. And I remember like the first time that I felt any kind of joy, I was walking down the street and I was like whistling and like skipping, and I caught myself. And I had like 6 months sober, and I was like, oh my God, I'm skipping and whistling. I'm freaking gay, you know? Ah. And so I called him up and I go, dude, I'm on fire. Like, I feel happy, joyous, and free, and all the bull, you know, all the stuff in the book, you know. I'm happy, joyous, and free, and the promises are coming true. And he goes, oh, is it kind of like a light at the end of the tunnel? And I go, yeah. And he'd go, it's a freight train. And I'd be like, what the fuck is that? And he'd hang up on me, man. He was just always so cool, man. Like, and you know, it's like, I mean, he passed away 6 years ago, and I still hear him, like, you know, he talks to me from the grave, you know, it's insane. You know, I just gotta say that, like, shit that I think is really bad has turned out to be the best blessings for me. Like, you know, 2 big things happened to me in sobriety. My mother passed away, and I really got to clean up a lot of stuff with her, man, because I had all these resentments towards her, like all these abandonment issues and this, and fuck you, Mom, and you ripped me off and sent me to live in Jerry Springer land and all this shit, right? And, you know, when she was sick, I spent, you know, I was supposed to go on tour, and she was dying, and I was supposed to go on this tour, and I knew she was, and I was afraid to go, you know. I thought she was gonna die when I was on the road, and I was like, fuck, that'd be horrible if this happens, you know. And I talked to some guys, and they go, what are you doing, man? Just blow off the tour and go be with her, you know. And I was like, yeah, but the guys will be pissed, I can't do that. And anyways, that's what I did. I blew off this tour. I went to Florida. I hung out with my mother for 3 months, and I was dealing like Cuban cigars. I was sending cigars from Florida back here, and my bros were selling cigars for me so I could pay my rent and shit. People in the program, man, stepped up to the plate, man, so I could do this, man. Like, I mean, that's a huge gift, man, you know? Like, my dope fiend friends wouldn't be doing that. I'd be shipping cigars back, and they'd be gone, man. They'd be like copping dope, taking the money, you know? And, you know, it's like, I was really afraid to deal with that situation of my mom passing, and I was with her when she took her last breath, and it was like the hugest gift. Like, I saw her die, man. She was right there. I was holding her hand, and I was like, holy shit. Like, I just saw her be born, you know? And I did the same thing with my father. You know, my father came and lived with me when he was sick, and he was in my bed. And it was like this whole thing of like father-son thing where he didn't want to, like, he resisted me taking care of him because he's the father and I'm the son. And it was like this power struggle where I had to, like, basically bowl him over and take over the father role and make him the son, you know? And I was like, Dad, I got to give you a bath, you know? And he was like, oh, no. I'm like, dude, you're in my bed and you stink like shit. You need a bath, you know? And he was so embarrassed. Like, he was just so embarrassed, and I could see it in him. And, you know, it says in the book, man, we know how to handle situations which used to baffle us, you know. And I knew to just kill that with, like, comedy. I was like, look, I don't want to scrub your balls any more than you want me to. Let's just do this thing, get it over, it's all cool, you know. And I make him laugh, you know. And I gave my dad a bath, man. It's insanity. That's not me, man. I'm a dope fiend, man. I don't take care of people, man. I don't do that shit, man. I'm a selfish motherfucker. If I'd have been loaded, I wouldn't have showed up for that. I'd been like, you're on your own, Pop. See you around, man. Take it easy. You know, I wouldn't have dealt with it, man. That was really scary for me, you know. And the cool thing that one of the things I learned is, like, you know, my sponsor told me, like, don't make it about you. It's not about you, man. So don't be like freaking breaking down in front of him. It only scares him, you know. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, you know. So I'm like giving him a bath, make him laugh and stuff. I tuck him back into bed, and I'm like, cool, Pops, I'll see you in a minute, man. I gotta go out get some smokes, you know. I'd go outside and lose my shit, man. I'd call people up and go, I'm freaking out, man. But I wouldn't do it in front of him, man. It was too selfish, man. I could see it, you know. And that's just some of the gifts that I've gotten in sobriety, you know. You know, I don't know how to like describe 16 years of sobriety or how different my life is today, but I just know I have so much more fun. You know, I see beauty in things where there's no way I could see it. When I came in here, man, I didn't give a shit about nothing. I was pissed off, miserable, and I just wanted what you had. I don't care what the fuck it was. It was like, if you didn't have something to offer me, I'm out of here, man. Like, I don't want to know you. I don't want you to know me. And it was just always this wall up, constant wall all the time, you know, where I couldn't let anybody love me, you know. And sometimes I still have, you know, that wall, man. It's still there, man. Shit, I keep coming back here because I'm trying to get better still, man. You know? It's like, I've grown so much, man, but there's so much more growing to do. And the cool thing is today I really want to do it, man. I want to grow. It's a trip, man. You know, it's a trip. I want to go hang out. Me and my girlfriend were in Mexico and hanging out in the jungle for like 6 weeks, man. Just the two of us running around this beach in the jungles of Mexico. And it was just a huge gift, man, to be able to do that. That's stuff I used to dream about, you know, and talk about. And one day I'm going to do that. One day I'm going to do that. But I would never do it. I'd just talk a bunch of shit and get loaded. And then the next day I'd do the same thing. It's Groundhog's Day, man. I'd just talk shit. That was it, man. It's like the barbecue. You ever been to a barbecue where everybody's doing blow? You cook up all this food and nobody eats? You know, it's the same shit. Like, yeah, man, what are you guys doing? We're barbecuing. Fuck. You know? Anyways, if you're new, man, grab onto somebody. If you're here and you're drunk, welcome. You're welcome here, you know? Just keep coming, man. That's what I did. I used to come here loaded all the time, and, you know, it's like, you gotta just keep coming, man, and just put your hand out and start talking to people, you know, because everybody wants to help, man. Everybody really does, man. That's why I love this. This is like my new family, where people really give a shit, you know? And so if you're new, I want to welcome you. And Laura, thank you again for asking me to share. And that's all I got. Thank you.